have her upline, Jen, come up right now. And you had an awesome month. Of course, you won the trip and, you know, looking to go RVP soon. So good up for Jen.
Morning.
Good morning.
Thanks, guys. I love everybody's, presentation and talk. I think everybody did so amazing. And you guys ready for December?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So first and foremost, we're hoping to finish after over 20,000 because we have an MRN pending right now. So right now we're showing 19.5 and another app with Joey that is pending as well. So these are who hit the board. So to do close to 20,000, we had 25 apps submitted. We ran a play and it was called Operation 30 because my old upline said, you know, we need to put in, you know, he said this, if you submit more apps, you'll have more what we call cases. So if you ever look at the scoreboard, right? Ashley Thomas, did you pull up the scoreboard? This is for all the new people because sometimes we're so new, we're lost, right? We don't know where our position is. So you guys just saw Brian, right? Get up with his wife and they got to district leader. What is a district leader? Like Samir said, that's the first promotion where you can write business on your own without your trainer. You're not fully trained, but you're trained enough, right? And you can recruit on your own, you can build on your own, you can write business on your own. So if you look at the premium scoreboard, right? Because recruits, we all know that somebody submits $124, they want to get licensed. But when you write premium, you can look at any premium scoreboard at any leadership, level. Okay. So right now, what is this, RVP and above? Go to all titles, actually. So we can look at personal. Okay, so Sheila, right? Look at this. So Sheila did 14,000 personal outside of her team. Okay, and she submitted 14 apps. So each app is about 1,000, right? So does that make sense, everybody? If you're new, it's easy, right? That's simple. So each case that you write, if you're in the qualified market, that should equal 1,000. So anyways, going back here, go back to the presentation, please. So those are called cases, okay? So the more cases you submit, that means the more appointments you're on. Does that make sense? And you don't go on appointments if you don't set appointments, right? So I highlighted everybody different colors because I like colors, right? So as you can see, the more colors that belong to, let's say, Val, right? You see Val, she was on the board for 5 apps or 6 apps, sorry. I don't want to get this wrong here. Let me pull up my picture. So she did 6 apps personal. Her name was on 6 apps personal. Joey was on 4 apps personal. Chihiro 3. Kiki and Bonde tied with 2. And then each of these ladies and man tied with 1 app. Lynn, Cheryl, Victoria, Liliana, Hannah, Dylan, and Miss Caroline. And then my name was on 7 apps. So this is where the 825 apps came from. 8 of them were field training appointments, which you can do better at. But that means that, we had a good 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 people on the board, right? 14 people on the board. Not a lot. I mean, you can look at it as a lot or a little bit, but is that a good visual for you guys? Yes. So this was never how I was. Like Val just got up here. You just got to get better every day. When I was in training, right? Somebody asked one day, I don't know who did it, but they said, if you were watching a movie and there was one word you heard, and if you heard that word, you told me I'd give you $1 million, how close would you pay attention to the movie? Really close, right? But some people, they're on their phone, their mom texts them, they don't even pay attention. They miss that one thing that can get them to the next level. What if Esmaldo didn't go to the convention? I don't even know who Vito is. I don't know who that guy is, right? I don't even remember him, but he got Esmaldo, right? What if I had an Esmaldo that came to convention, right? So what you focus on, you focus on attendance and appointments. Those are the only 2 things that you need to be really skilled at. So Val talked about prospecting. That is the first fundamental you should learn as soon as you come in the business. When you get a name and number that is interested in your business, whether it is joining your business as a licensed person to get licensed in your team, or to be a client of yours, or both, or maybe they want to give you referrals, right? But let's look at these 2 potentials. Let's say, because some people in here, how many people prospect mainly for clients? Like you're meeting people, you're trying to get a client, cool. Not bad, right? How many people prospect mainly for recruiting the person? Okay. So why is this important to know? And why are there more people in this room that prospect for recruiting? What sense does that make? We don't make money on $1 on $124, right, guys? We don't make immediate money on that recruit. So why would we recruit? Well, how many people sign their IBA here to run their own business versus work for somebody else? Raise your hand high. Okay, now look around the room. 95% of this room raise their hand to run their own business. So doesn't it make sense to prospect somebody to work in your business for themselves, right? But not by themselves, so you can also grow together, right? Why would you prospect only for a client when your idea was to get big? So if you prospect just for a client, you got a personal QA set, great. You got personal QAs done, great. You got active money you're making, great. You can make a good $500 in an hour. That's better than a job, right? That's better. No job's gonna pay you $500 in an average hour of work. Is that fair? But if you prospect for recruiting, right? Now you can invite them to the ops. They see Shaq, you put your person in front of the best people, right? That are better than you right now because you're not good enough by yourself yet. So you need to leverage the environment. Now you build your attendance and you have more people listening to the best people on your team, right? When you're not the best yet. And now your team is setting QAs. So if you are one person setting 5, you got 4 other people setting 5, right? Now you got 25 appointments set. Hello, right? And so now you have half of that done because 50% of appointments will happen, right? So now your team from 25 appointments, 30 appointments set, you're going on 10 to 15. Is that fair? So your team is going on 10 to 15, maybe not just you. And now your team is making money and then you're overriding that, okay? Now, where would you rather be? Making active money or more passive money? Passive, right? And that's what we all heard in the So the more teammates you have making money under you, they're happy. Now you're happy because you make more money on them. And that was your return of your investment of time. Make sense? So everybody ready to recruit the world? All right, so here's let's break it down to what you have to focus on yourself, right? Because the better you become as a person, and everybody in here, don't you guys agree you want to become a better version of yourself, right? So here it is. You're not going to attract the person that you want to really attract until you become that person first, okay? Have you ever like witnessed somebody trying to talk to you like, you know, like this is probably, I'm just giving an example, okay? I'm not trying to incentivize anybody. Let's say you're at the bar and somebody tries to talk to Tia, right? And I'm like a guy trying to talk to Tia, right? And she's not pregnant, right? At the bar. So, but Tia is, right? I'm not up to her standard, right? I work at, you know, this, and I'm just saying, Tia is a business owner, right? Tia runs her own thing. She makes $100,000 a year, right? And somebody who literally doesn't own their own house, you know, they're on the verge of, hey, like I'm paycheck to paycheck. What can I do for Tia, right? Financially and time-wise, if I have to work all the time, I don't have as much income to support her one child that she has, whatever it is, right? So Tia has a certain standard and a person. I'm not saying that about anybody, okay? But have you guys ever met somebody that tried to talk to you and you're like, I don't know, I might want a higher standard person, right? But you can't really ask for that person till you become that person. And how can you even think that you deserve the type of income you want to make if you haven't become that person? You got to look in the mirror and figure that am I meeting the person I actually want to see myself, right? Are you the version of you that I want to see? If you look in the mirror, is that the version that you actually want to be, right? Are you the best you can be? And if you're not, that's why you haven't attracted the best yet, right? So you got to keep working on these things right here. So you have no right in saying that person is not the person I want to, you know, have on my team if you're the person that attracted. It was back to you, right? So, and sometimes there's exceptions, of course, but attitude. What are you reading? What are you reading? What are you listening to every day? I love the fact that this model said he cut out music, right? To focus and everything. Because what is the music paying you at the end of the day, right? I don't listen to Beyonce until after hours, by the way. I know you guys think different, but okay, maybe there's like a TikTok somewhere with a Beyonce audio, but I actually do. I wake up in the morning and I read, and for the only hour, the whole hour and a half that I'm getting ready for my day, it's an audio playing in the background. I don't have my phone ring at all. Nobody can reach me. It's that hour. That's my hour, right? And that's self-care for your mind. So what are you reading? I'm on my 13th book of the year, by the way. So, and that's only 10 minutes a morning, right? And 10 minutes a night that I read. So I break it down because I like to listen to audios better than read, but I still read, right? And I make it possible for myself, but not impossible. So the activity, you want to set an appointment and do an appointment on a daily basis. Accountability, your daily report. So this may be a little bit higher level for some people that just started, but ask your trainer about this, right? If you can't even answer your trainer at the bare minimum, and you make your trainer or your upline wait a whole 24 hours to hear back from you, you're not ready for the next level. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. You're not ready to get promoted. You're just not. Because Brian, how many days did you and your wife talk to Peter and Tia? Like, did you guys talk to every day? Did you ever take a whole day to respond to Peter and Tia? Never, right? Never, never. You see that, right? Val, do you ever take a whole day to respond back to me? How quick do you respond back to me? 5 to 10 minutes, right? Shaq calls me. If I miss this call because I'm in an appointment, I'm always going to text him back within 5 to 10 minutes, right? And you see the pattern, right? The people that are up in front, they're always getting back to their upline within 5 to 10 minutes. It doesn't mean we don't have anything going on, right? So consistency. Posting activity on Telegram, pay attention to Telegram, discipline, having initiative. I love that Von Day always texts me, hey, I got an email number, I got an email number, I got an email number. I don't have to tell her to prospect anymore. That's pretty cool, right? Because this is her business, not mine. But you know, her business is her business. And she's in my business, thank God. But being coachable, knowing that you don't know. The coolest people to work with and the easiest people to work with are the people that know they don't know everything. Because if you think you know everything, what can you even learn, right? There's no more growth. Your glass is full, right? You got to be half full, half full, half full, so somebody can still pour into you. So I hope that helps, guys. I see you at the top.
Can't talk too much because I have to get Shondel up, and I don't want to take up time and have us cut into her talk. So really, if there's an MVP for the month, it would be Shondel. 10K personal premium, 20 by 20. That means recruits and premium above 20 on both sides, getting referrals, making money, doing everything right. Give it up for Shondel.
Right, so record month, and gonna talk about getting on appointments and then give you guys some appointment setting tips at the end, because we're gonna set appointments after today. So first and foremost, definitely want to thank God for where I'm at. I mean, without him, I wouldn't be here. But as far as our team goes, guys, it was a complete team effort this month. We did 27 recruits, number 4 in the state, and then we did 24,000 in production, which is number 1 in the state. I thought but either way, Team Infinite did great as well. 23 recruits, 10,000 in production. I just want to shout out to everyone that hit the board on their team. Josh did 2 by 4,300 personal and standard, 8 by 1,700. Diego 1 by 1,600. Is it Adric? Yeah. Adric 3 by 0. Marin 4 by 1,700. Renee in Delaware did 1,200. Phil 1 by 0. Andy passed his test. Tyrone 1 by 0 out here, and then Andre 3 by 0. So that was a huge team effort for them. Then other directs to me, Otis did 1 by 500. Shalene did 0 by 1,600. Marilyn, right at month end, came in with an MRN, did 900 in production. And then me personally, I did 3 by 10,800 and cash flow 6,600 for the month. So that was huge for me. I'm going to talk about that in a second, but the big thing that I want to hit is that on Saturday last week, I was only at 5,600 of production. So in a week from last week, I did another $5,000 and I closed every single day. So 6 days in a row, which has been the longest trip that I've had. But how does that all, where does that all come from, right? It comes from competition. Competition drives activity. So there's a lot of different things that we compete for in the office, and I definitely want more people in the office to start competing with a lot of things that we got going on. Top turnout, attendance, bringing people to the op, the daily form, all of the contests. And so for me, these were some of the things that I was kind of focusing on. Obviously, it was the last month of the Bahamas trip, so we want to compete for that. But if you guys weren't competing for Bahamas, there is a new trip that started as well. So if you didn't perform in November, I mean, that was something that I was making sure that you wanted to double dip on both sides. So that was something. The January 14th event is right around the corner, guys. And if you want to get recognition, then you got to make sure you compete for that. So I wanted to make sure that we're up there. Last event, we did decent great on the production side on premium. So I just want to make sure that we were doing that. And then it's the last month of the year before 2023. Shaq has been kind of circling on that, and just wanted to make sure that I wrapped up the year doing 10K. I just want to raise my personal standards. I mean, when I looked back at my entire 2022, the last time that I wrote 10K was in March and April. So it's been a long time since I've done it. And that's our job. As a full-timer here, you want to get to 10K. If you're just part-time, work your way up, get to the point of producing at a district leader, right? Writing 2,500 in personal production and getting to $5,000 and then working your way up to 10, right? But that's our job. We got to make sure that we're doing that consistently. And so ending November, hitting 10K, that was huge for me. And as far as confidence going into the next year as well. And then what's kind of keeping me focused, we kind of all been talking about this, is the daily and weekly scores. So number one, I have to post it. So I always have to make sure that I'm posting my numbers, but I literally get to see it every day, and hopefully you guys are looking at it as well. But when you look at the score and how it breaks down, most of the points go to qualified appointments and that type of activity. And if you're doing a lot of qualified appointments, then you're going to close a lot and you're going to make money, right? So that should drive you as well if you guys are here to make extra income. So I like to let the numbers speak for themselves. I track everything. When you're in business, you want to track your numbers. So this is kind of where all my production came from. So I set 20 personal referral appointments. 18 of them showed, closed 5 on the first, got a COD, 2 of them are following up. 1 didn't have any money, and then 9 of them I set a carryback. So not everyone's going to close on the first appointment. So 9 of them I had a carryback, 6 of those people showed, and then closed 5 of those, and then 1 set another carryback appointment. So with that, guys, it's just setting appointments and doing appointments. Just keep working on that and track. Now the cool thing is, before I go to this, actually, here, these are all appointments that I did, and I just wanted to mention this. I recruited a guy named Jerome, and hopefully he's going to do something big. But he was saying a lot of great things when we had a conversation, and it just really kind of sparked my mindset, because he was like, hey, my goal is to create millionaires. He actually said he wanted to create 40 millionaires by the end of the year, and I was like, it's October. So how's that happening? But it just planted a seed in my mind. It's like when I'm talking to people, when we're talking to clients or recruits, that should be a goal. What else are we doing here, right? We want to help people become financially independent, whether it's being a millionaire through being a client or being on your team and building a business. So when he said that, I was like, wow, I'm going to steal it. I'm just going to talk about that every single time I talk to somebody and say, hey, I'm going to help you be a millionaire. So that excites me to talk about the compound interest calculator when I show that to a client, right? And when we talk about recruiting, same thing, talking about compensation, becoming a vice president as well. So going back to all of our closes for the month, 99% of my apps came from recruiting in the beginning and then getting a referral somehow from that recruit. So all of these sales, I did not know these people to begin with, and they stemmed from me recruiting somebody and then taking them in the field, or recruiting somebody and they referred me to somebody else. So just really quick, I'm going to run through that. Mitchell was the 1%, right? Mitchell was my friend from college that I prospected on Facebook, and he was my client probably about a year now. He referred me to his wife. But then Robert was an old recruit from a couple years ago, recruited somebody named Alan. He introduced me to Cinna, and then Cinna introduced me to her husband, Manny. Got those 2 apps this month. Then Lenny was an old recruit. He introduced me to Crystal, who's a current client now. That was field training. And then she referred me to Everard. Britt, old recruit, started in the business, decided it wasn't for him, became a client, recruited me to his wife this year. She became a client last month, and then she referred me to her sister, who I closed this month. Shalene, a lot of things came from Shalene this month. So Shalene is a recruit now. She's in New Jersey. So we helped Stacy for her. That was direct. And then Shalene has a client that we got, I think, during COVID, and we did like a little seminar for her. And so she keeps sending out my video to people, and then people keep reaching back out. So with that, we got an increase from her personally. and she recruited us to someone named James. We got a $1,500 COD. He recruited us to somebody else. We picked up another $1,500 max case from them. And then Lisa also referred us to someone named Renee, closed her. She referred us to somebody else named Jessica. And Jessica wanted me to meet with her entire family. So she became a client, her husband, and then all of her 3 adult kids as well. And then this last one is pretty cool, I think. But I recruited somebody back in March named Talani. She didn't want to do the business, but then she became a client. And then she referred me to all of these people that led to this last person. So we got that all of these people became clients. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 11th person in the chain of referrals. Yeah, so that's where everything kind of came from for me this month. It was mainly referrals. I did the training on that last week, but Shaq wants me to just do a real quick best practices for appointment setting.
It'll probably be next time. Or what time is it?
You gotta do something.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you want to work on getting to a list of 100 numbers that you can call every week, coming from various sources. Make sure you have a calendar, guys. You're in business, have a calendar, whether it's electronic or a written down calendar. You want to start setting your appointments for the next week early. Don't wait until just Saturday to start. Have your scripts ready and be professional when you're making your calls. There's FTOS, there's a 3-way text, character reference, the triangle offense, the referral script, and then if you're just a newly licensed agent, contact your warm market. Be assumptive when you're setting the appointment, guys. One thing. Don't ask people to do the appointment, right? Don't say, would you like to meet with me, or are you interested in meeting with me? Don't ever say that. Don't give them the opportunity to say no, right? Be assumptive. If there's a spouse or significant other, obviously make sure that there's a time that works for both of them to be present. And if you're in training, say, hey, it's not going to count for my training if you guys aren't both there. Set firm times, send confirmation texts and emails to make sure that the appointment is set. And then what counts as an appointment? Name, spouse's name, phone number, email if you're sending emails, date and time. Not, hey, yeah, sure, let's meet sometime next week. That's not an appointment, guys. This is an appointment. And then if you're meeting on Zoom, make sure you ask them if they've used Zoom before, and politely ask if they can log in on a laptop or a computer. Hopefully not from a phone. Make sure they're not driving, things of that nature. But you want to try to make sure you remember these things when you're setting your appointment. So that's all, guys. Great job.
Said, we're going to be setting appointments afterwards, so hang around, meet with your team, and let's get those appointments set up. And then next week we have our compliance.
Yes, mandatory.
Annual compliance mandatory. Anybody that's licensed, life and securities, you have to watch that training to keep your license with Primerica. So that's going to be next week.
Can it be over phone too? Is it like going to be both?
Well, I'll figure out the details and post myself.
Okay.
All right, team.
No.
Team 1, 3. 1, 2, 3.